December, and he used to listen to you, and when you would come on in the morning, he said, Ruth, here comes the king.
Yeah, well, that's close to what some of them say, yeah.
I always, when I hear your voice, I think...
Royalty.
I'm not guilty, but I feel, I think about him strongly because you were the king to him. I think they used to call you that. I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah.
And there's another thing I'll say to Neil Rogers. I think it was April the 17th I called, and it was so long to wait, and that man that answered the phone was so short with me. I didn't call anymore, but I had...
That's all right, ma'am. I call in. He's short with me, too.
Well, it's a man on the phone that said...
That's right.
Yeah.
His name is Kyle.
Well, I don't like it.
He's short with everybody.
That isn't good.
Yes, it is.
Y'all are trying to produce shows there and get all the people you can get.
Well, we're trying, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he can shove you off. But this is what I want to say to Neil about my husband.
Okay, but this is the very last thing you get to say, ma'am, because you've had 5 or 6 things you wanted to say.
I know, but I've got it borrowed up, and I haven't been able to talk to him.
She's had it burrowed up.
Get it off your chest.
I am. Neil Rogers, the Washington Post, I know you don't like, but my husband was one of the first members, of a weekly that comes out. It's a condensation of the news.
Izvestia.
From the Washington Post. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
All right. Neil, there was an article in there I thought you would like to read. It was about the former FCC chairman, who isn't there anymore, and how he operated the station and so forth.
Yeah.
I remember stations, for bad words.
Fowler.
Huh?
Lee Fowler.
Mark.
All right, I've heard that one.
Okay, ma'am, I've got to go. Thank you. Good to hear from you.
Yeah. By the way, that first of all, if you play that record on the air, that Cubs thing, there's a skip in it toward the end because your record is defective, although I can record it off the other side if I can never figure out.
What do you expect from GN, man?
Yeah.
I mean, they're cheap.
Plus, it's so bad. That is so bad.
Oh,
and I think the skip in it would add something to it.
Oh, probably.
You'd have something very original.
No, I didn't plan to play it unless we really got hard up.
Well, see, there you go. That's the beginning of your collection now. You've got one cart.
One cart. And the rest of my stuff is too long to put on carts.
Yeah, you've got Nixon and the frogs.
No, the Nixon thing you can put on cart. That's okay, but this is about 6 or 7 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, it's longer than that. It's more
and
than
I've got an Ace Trucking Company thing that they did on my show in Milwaukee that's just fabulous. I've never used it before.
Oh, yeah?
And it's
Why
a long
not?
bit. I just have never had occasion to. I've been doing political, controversial type junk, and I really want to get away from it.
That old formula talk
the
stuff.
The old W. Snooze formula, And, I just want, I'll do some of that. I mean, I haven't lost the edge.
Of course.
I haven't
You're
lost
still the
edge.
same rabid right-wing lunatic you always were.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I still love Richard Nixon, think he was the greatest president of my time.
Gary Lawrence, by the way, just told me he plunged his brains out on Leo Castelli. And you know something? I think that's great. You know what I told him? I said, that's good. We like suckers like you pouring it in to get the price up on the real horses that have a chance to win. You know what I'm going to start doing? Because, it was fun. We had a little roll there, and I gave out about a half a dozen horses in a row, and they all came in. And that's great. I'm going to start giving out horses that I know are going to lose, okay? And that'll cure these people of constantly bleeding me for tips. I don't have any advice. I have no tips. I did get one tip the other day. And
it was a good one.
And it was a good one. I sure wasn't going to give it on the air.
How often does that happen?
That's the only time I've ever...
100 if you were in Broward. With Stan Major. Neil Rogers is sitting here until 6 o'clock to help me out.
3:30.
Oh, come on, Neil. Cut me a break. You told me you'd help me out.
Cut you a break?
Whatever. Pembroke Pines, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. I was hoping I'd get you while Neil was out of the room.
Oh,
I'll leave.
No, I don't want... I just want to tell you, that man sitting next to you is the most compassionate person in the world. You take that mic away from him. I had an opportunity to observe him like 3 hours over in C.B. Smith Park, and every commercial, that man changes completely. He has so much compassion for people.
Oh, boy. I can't believe
I'm telling you, they brought in a lot of food, and they had all these ribs from Tony Roma's, and he said, no, we have enough food here. Give that to the audience. And he took time out to shake hands with people in all that heat, and the little guy in the wheelchair.
And that was the day that they slashed all 4 of my tires,
Take
too.
that mic away from him.
True.
I'm a female, and all of us are. That's a guy you'd just like to have as your friend.
Yeah.
Really?
That's all it would be.
But he's so close-minded on some things, ma'am. Miami Vice, Philadelphia.
Just watching him. I watched him for 3 hours now. He's so different when he's away from that microphone.
Yeah.
And he had Kathy, and he had Kathy there, and he was just as nice as could be, so they can't blame him for...
Yes, but you see, he's out there in person, and he's scared to death that if he's not nice, somebody's going to hit him.
No.
Or flatten my tires
again.
again.
3 hours and just watch. He is so different when you take that mic away from him.
Well, that's why you can't believe anything he says on the radio.
Well, I
mean,
listen.
you saw the real Neil Rogers.
That's the real Neil Rogers. He's a warm, compassionate person.
I mean, I can mention 3 things to him right now, and it's like he'll get a hot flash reaction. Bayside.
Well,
that's number 1. Bayside. He's never been there, but he condemns the place.
Yeah.
Miami Vice. He's never watched the whole show, but he condemns the show.
Sex symbol, not that
and Philadelphia. He was in Philadelphia for 10 minutes one week.
Seemed like a year.
And the whole city stinks.
But I like Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
No,
because that's where Garden State Park is.
Rochester, New York.
Right.
Okay, my dear. Nice to hear from you.
Okay,
I hope you'll be
you.
saying nice things about me 6 months down the line.
Oh, well, we've been listening to... when he was on Nights with Bill Calder. Anybody who's a friend of Bill Calder's got to be great anyway.
Okay, ma'am.
So say hi to him.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you very much. 624-9400 if you're in Dade. Broward, 524-9400. I give the numbers out even if the lines are full, because I don't trust when I punch down a button.
Well, what do you care if the lines are full? You were chastising
I don't.
Somebody once told me, in fact, it was Bill Calder. Funny she should mention him, and she ought to after all the money he lost yesterday. But, no, we had a rough day. But anyway, he once said to me, you can only take one call at a time. And I really never thought about that before. But you know something? What if you go to the one call and you say Fort Lauderdale, and it's the only light you got lit, and like happened to you, there's nobody there. Yeah. What do you do then?
You do your spiel.
Oh.
Which is much better than taking a call from one of these
Probably,
anyway.
yeah. Yeah, you've had some...
you've learned that.
You've had a mixed bag.
You've learned that. Your show, the success you have on your program today, has nothing to do with callers. It's you.
Oh, I've always said that.
Well...
People don't listen for the guests. I mean, rarely. If you had Nixon on live, yeah, they would listen. But ordinarily, they don't listen for the guest. And
you're going to have the Pope drop by when he comes to
the
Miami?
Pope is coming on, yeah. In fact, they're driving him up here in the Pope-mobile.
Going to sell a few souvenirs out in the parking
lot? Yeah, those condoms, the Pope condoms, the ones with a little hole in the end. Okay. And the Archdiocese is very excited about those, by the way.
Okay.
You can't get any disease. You can only get pregnant. But what was I starting to say before you got...
I don't know, but I want to take a break.
Oh, go ahead.
For some reason, we have a lot of commercials this hour.
I noticed that.
I don't know why.
He only started today, and his show is loaded.
How about that? We'll be right back. All righty, 25 minutes after the hour 3. Here
that was good.
With Neil Rogers.
Press the right button.
And Stan Major. Yeah, I'm learning. It doesn't take... Even my old age, I can still find a button once in a while.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Hey, and don't touch that with
Is it Fawn Hall or Don Johnson?
Yeah, at the moment it'd be Sandra Santiago.
I wonder if Don Johnson has fuzz on his navel. Have you thought about that?
I know he probably doesn't have much on his chest. He and I are probably
He doesn't have any hair on his chest. Didn't you see that movie he was on with Jason Robards? What was that movie they had on the other night with Jason Robards and Don Johnson?
Oh, Long Hot Summer.
Yeah.
And the critics called him steaming in that.
Steaming?
He wasn't steaming?
No. So he doesn't have any hair on his chest. People with hair on their chests are, especially women, very sexless.
Okay.
You know some women with hair on their chest.
Yeah, I do. I've known one or two. Right. Some of them have my hair on their chest. That's more fun.
Anybody we know?
Nope, I'm not going to mention any names. In fact, I wonder if any of my old girlfriends are listening.
Ooh, that would be good.
Wouldn't that be fabulous to have one of those call in?
Yeah, we could hear the story behind the story. The woman behind the man.
Westchester, save me.
Oh, I hope I can, Stan. No, I'm just kidding.
Neil always wants to talk about my sex life.
No, I don't. I'm not in the least bit interested.
Quite seriously, you probably don't recognize his voice, but I just want the listeners to give you a shot and listen to you, because I know your human side. You mentioned me after 1980 when you were with my family, when you recorded at my home. Do you recall that?
Yes. Good heavens. That's amazing.
Well, I remember
You haven't fled the area.
Who is this, Bibi Rebozo?
No.
There's a gentleman that this man also tells me has a very compassionate side, and I'll tinkle on him, Neil.
Please.
And did quite a bit for me and my family. In fact, my 2 boys are now listening to Neil. He turned them on. They're really going to be turned on now, Stan. They're still here also. We're still fighting it out. We're trying to stay, and I want Neil to know that.
All right, now fill me in again, because it has been, 8 years? 7 years?
Years, actually, almost to the date, open heart surgery.
Yeah.
And with my 6 kids, my grandmother, and my wife.
Right, and I took my little handy tape recorder out there, and I did a whole show right from your home.
Yes, sir, you did.
Talked to the kids, talked to the whole family.
Right, and it was on radio the night before my surgery.
Yeah.
That meant an awful lot to me. It did a lot for my family, and his kids had never forgotten you since, and they were just asking, as a matter of fact, 2 or 3 weeks ago about you. And now they know you're here.
And how have you been feeling?
Oh,
That's
sir,
the important thing.
Still fighting. I'm back. Been back in 2 or 3 times. So
Really?
Yes, sir. With the balloon treatments, it's not working, but I'm still fighting. But I just want this audience to know the compassionate, humane society of Stan Majors. I want them to know that he's a very strong man. He'll make good points, and listen to him for his reality and his humorous thoughts about life. And
Will you drop me a note? Let me know where you are, your phone number and everything.
Back to the same place, sir.
Okay. Well, I don't have that, so drop it to me, will you?
Sure will.
I appreciate it.
Wonderful having you back.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Boy, I remember that. That was quite a show. He had so many kids that were riding on this one operation, and what we did is we went out there and did a show, recorded a show for INZ before the operation, a day or 2 before the operation, and put it on the air. And then he went in, and he had the triple heart bypass. Amazing. I'm glad he's still around. All righty. Things like that'll shake you up, you know.
Yeah.
I've completely forgotten about that.
You look like you're
completely
ashen.
Gone. You know, just out of my memory banks.
Cigars.
Out of my memory banks. All righty. Let's go to Oakland Park. Stan Major with Neil Rogers. Go ahead, Oakland Park.
How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
On the Dade line, because Neil, it says that's open.
Yeah, it's always open.
Yeah, I did that down the one. I told Carl that. I guess that he's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can you steal any Neil's material, like down in Florida? Ask him. Is Neil there?
Yeah.
Yeah, ask him if he can play that.
He's given me permission from time to time.
Play
Well,
anything
he
you
knows
want.
me because I call him for Food John, but the guy with a steak on his hat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He knows me.
Tell Stan that story quickly.
Well, we had a guy in Food John. I worked there about 6 months ago, and then we had a guy that put a steak on his hat, a frozen one. And time he checked out, he bought like a bag of potatoes or something. Checked out, and what happened? The steak was defrosting. This is true.
Blood was dripping down the guy's head.
Right, and what they did, they tried to call the ambulance for the...
Yeah, they were ready to call the paramedics. This old guy is walking out of the store, and blood is dripping down his head, and they thought that he was bleeding.
Yeah, and see what they saw. You know, they thought he cut his head or something, and they found it was a steak on his head. I told Neil that about 6 months ago.
That sounds like a real Neil Rogers call.
Yeah, but there was a true story. It was even in the papers.
Well, I hope everybody survived.
Yeah.
Listen, it's good to hear from you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go.
Thank you. Telephone number in Broward is 524-9400. If you're in Dade, for Stan Major and Neil Rogers, who's sticking around, 624-9400. This is my first day back in Miami. I'm delighted to be back here, and I haven't taken that 5 minutes to thank Neil for helping me return to the scene of my earlier crimes. But I do appreciate that. I can say that because he's away from the microphone right now, otherwise he'd be shutting me off. What are you doing now?
You want to play it. He wanted to hear that.
Okay. I'll play it.
I don't want to get you in a habit of stealing all my material. It's in the middle one.
The middle one? Great so far, Neil. What are you doing to my program? You like the same thing I did to yours?
Live right, work hard, read the good book too.
gone, Steve.
That's it.
I mean, I get the point. That's
They
cute.
just died.
That's really. I wouldn't classify that with James Brown, but
Close.
it's okay. Now another thing.
You know who gave me that?
Who?
John Levitt.
Really?
My old producer gave me that, yeah.
Another thing you seem to have a problem with is
I don't have any problem.
the neck of
you created
the
all
neck of
these.
Florida that I just love, the neck of the woods that I just love, and that's Naples and Fort Myers.
Yeah,
Sanibel,
neck is the right
Captiva,
word, all right.
Captiva,
As in redneck.
Marco Island.
Yeah.
I just love that. No, that's up north in Destin, Fort Walton Beach. You got to, I mean, over there in Naples, you got all former military and CIA.
Yeah, that's your crowd.
Why don't you like those people over there?
I didn't say I don't like them. They're just a bunch of stiffs over there.
Why?
That's
Because they
all.
won't send
We
you
have a
money.
lot
You
of
sound
people-
like Jimmy
They won't
Baker.
even send us their
Jerry
name and
Falwell.
address. They won't even send us their name and address because they're afraid that we'll send it to the Trilateral Commission or something. A bunch of right-wing nuts over there
It's a
who
nice
don't
area.
believe in free speech.
The only place to go swimming is on Naples Beach.
Oh, good. Terrific. And they have a dog track there, too, by the way.
Do they? That's right, they do.
Matter of fact, it's Monday night. I could take you to Biscayne tonight and lose you 200-300 easy. No problem.
Compulsive, friends. He's compulsive, I'll tell you. All right, let's get back to the phones. People are getting nervous here. Stan Major with Neil Rogers sitting in, or is it vice versa? Whatever.
Oh, no.
Miami.
Don't start that.
Hello, Miami.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Hey, fine, Stan. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Neil, thank you for Leo Castelli.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anytime.
Anytime, yeah.
I'll give
great.
you Halo Splendor at Calder yesterday, too. He's still running.
Yeah, of course, yeah. He went off at 5-1, came in at 1:45, yeah.
Exactly.
How much did you bet?
Yeah.
How much did you bet on Neil's tip? I really want to know.
Neil said, bet the farm, and I bet...
Oh, Lord.
Okay, hey, listen, Neil's really putting on people today. He put on P.P. Rebozo.
I like Mr. Rebozo.
Yeah, of course.
I do.
And, of course, the frogs invading Sunny Isles. You know, all the French Canadians are going to be after you now.
What's that all about, Neil?
What?
The French Canadians.
What is it all
The
about?
frogs
It's a
are-
bunch of cheap,
Oh.
miserable, no-good, slow-driving people. That's what it's all about.
Really?
Absolutely.
Bunch
I
of
agree.
tight-fisted maniacs, those French Canadians.
And, by the way, I'm sorry, Stan, but, Neil, did you realize that after you went off the other day, I switched over to IOD, and Mike Miller came on, and within 5 minutes he was talking about what you had said about the station.
Yeah, I didn't hear the very beginning of that, but I turned it on to see if he was still on the air.
Yeah, well, he was still there.
He was
but,
talking about maybe he's going to go fishing and sit out in the back of the building if they kick him out. They're all paranoid over there.
Well, let's hope so. Yeah, well, you guys realize Fawn Hall is on TV right now?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Yeah,
We don't want to spread it, though, because then everybody will turn Stan's show off. We don't want that to happen.
I don't want to spread nothing, no.
I wonder when the question about sexual intercourse with Colonel North comes up. That's what I want. Can you get that on tape for me?
Oh, I'm taping it right now.
I mean, after that, what the Herald did, I mean, these congressmen, why not? Let's go for the whole...
Well, why
if
only
they want to
Colonel
make,
North?
if they
How
want to
about
make the
how
nightly
about with
news,
the president?
If they want to make the nightly news tonight, let's ask the key question. Who cares about what records she destroyed, what Ollie North did with the money? Let's get down to the real nitty-gritty. Did you sleep with Colonel North?
Well, a minute ago they were showing diagrams.
I mean, that's the only thing the media is interested in.
Wait a minute, they
anymore
were
is
showing her
sex.
diaphragm, did you say?
Showing diagrams of where her safe was, where her desk was, where this was, where that was, Oh, my God.
Well, again, let me remind you, while all of this subterfuge is going on, and they're wasting more of your money, slipping out the back of the Capitol like a sieve is billions and billions of dollars every day, and these congressmen are using this thing as a subterfuge so they don't have to face up to the fact that they cannot cut the budget. In fact, let me tell you something. I hope nobody plans to take a vacation in Ohio this summer. Don't take the Ohio Turnpike. All of your money is rebuilding the entire Ohio Turnpike this year. I have never seen so much construction, and this is not cheap stuff. In fact, if you note all of the road work that's going on around here and any place else you drive right now, you would think that we had a budget surplus of about $20 billion or $200 billion or name a trillion, whatever figure you want. We are spending more money at this moment than we ever had.
Okay, listen, all you construction workers out there on the Turnpike and Federal Highway, knock it off right now. We want you to stop right in the middle of those projects. We don't need roads to drive on here. We got to stop and cut on. In fact, we want General Secord to sell that.
We really needed the Sawgrass Expressway, didn't we, Neil?
Hey,
That's the Arvida Expressway.
You don't have to tell them to knock it off. They're already knocking it off.
Well, that's true. At the rate they're going, they can't be doing much of anything.
You ever see them working?
No.
Never.
They only talk about it.
Yeah, they just stand there and watch the traffic go by.
Especially on the Turnpike. Can you believe the way they've got that Turnpike screwed up? It's unbelievable. I think there's going to be one part of it where there are no lanes open. You know, they got one lane, and I'm sure that they're going to be 5 miles one of these days, no lanes open. What do? You just sit there, you know.
Well, like Rick Weaver says, it's okay for Mr. Robbie Stadium.
You got it, Mr. Robbie.
Mr.
They
Robbie.
call me Mr.
Mr.
I like Joe Robbie.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
I do.
You like all those nerds.
I like B.B. Rebozo.
Yeah.
I like
Dick
Joe
Nixon,
Robbie.
Rabbi Baruch
I
Korb.
love Janet Reno.
Another one of your people.
Mm-hmm.
Sergio Pereira. Cesar Odio.
Dewey Knight.
Dewey Knight's your favorite.
And it's so sad that Merritt Sterheim isn't around to kick around anymore.
Yeah.
Because he gave us the
Meritro rail.
He probably buys his clothes wholesale.
Okay, good to hear from you, sir.
In fact, I heard a rumor that you were buying some new fixtures for your apartment from Johnny Jones.
Is he still... What's he doing now?
I don't know. He just they can't seem to put him away, can they? I don't know what the story is there. He had another deal where he opened up that soft drink business or something like that.
Yeah.
And there turned out to be some allegations, shall we say, there too. But he never stole a freight train. Don't you understand?
Oh, okay. So as long as he didn't steal a freight train.
No, it's there was laundry there.
But I remember when he was
plumbing
touted as the greatest thing to
the second
school
coming
system.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. These names are all coming back to me now.
Yeah, the good old days.
The good old days.
The old corruptors. Now we have the new corruptors. All they do is they buy stolen merchandise, which isn't very exciting. And then we have another one of your favorites, Joe Carollo.
But I'm glad to see the Miami Police Department is still as clean as always.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They also never stole a freight train. They killed a few people and sold little drugs, but they never stole a freight train. The great thing about Joe Carollo, and I want to commend him for this, he wants to keep all those commies out of this town. He wants to keep people from communist-dominated countries out. And the caller yesterday had a very good suggestion. Wait a minute. Which one is two? This one? Oh, you got to be kidding. Get him off of there. Bob Kunst, you got to be kidding me. Already the gremlins are calling, looking to... He wants to be on his show? Get serious. Get him out of here. Here's a guy...
I have had shouting matches.
Here's a guy who would exploit everything, and he started his own little deal. I want to tell anybody in the audience that wants to help AIDS Center One. Center One does a great job. They're super people. There are some legitimate organizations helping folks who have AIDS, okay? Mm-hmm. But this guy would exploit anything, I'm telling you.
Has he jumped on the AIDS bandwagon?
Oh, yeah, he's exploiting people suffering, and they got a new guy on IOD, this hillbilly from Texas that they put on overnight to do a talk show. Who do you think one of his first guests was? Bob. Sorry about that, Bob. I don't want another shouting match. The chronic callers and the chronic guests. I want to tell you, Bob, and I know Stan agrees, not only don't we want chronic callers, we don't want the chronic old guests either, the Ellis Rubins and the Bob Kunst and all these.
Oh, I want Ellis on?
Oh, yeah.
Because Ellis has threatened to sue me if I ever mention the name E. Howard Hunt again on the radio.
Has he really?
Yeah. When I was at W News, he threatened to do
E. Howard Hunt.
E. Howard Hunt.
E. Howard Hunt.
Right.
E. Howard Hunt.
Yeah.
Sue us 4 times now, Ellis. Come on. How can he sue you for mentioning a guy's name on the air?
With regard to
the assassination of President Kennedy.
You said that.
Ooh. Well, it's just, you said part of
Ellis
the sentence
hasn't been in the news for, at least 3 weeks? This will give me a chance to get his name back in the news.
Well, he's going into that alarm business with Prentice Rashid. They're selling James Brown security systems.
They are. I love that. That's my favorite. So we got to play the Miami Vice thing, the Hallandale Vice thing.
Do we?
Key West Vice.
Oh, I see. So I've got to get up and find it.
Well, if we can't get the real Don Johnson, I can play that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can play anything you want in there.
All right. Let's break. We'll be right back. I'm Stan Major. Neil Rogers is here, and he won't go away till 6. I guarantee.
You want to bet?
He's a blue blood.
A blue blood.
Yeah.
Where's the shot coming here?
He dines at the London Chop House in Detroit.
That's what you think.
Yeah, that's what he told us. Everybody on the air.
I only wish I could have afforded to dine there when I lived there.
Trying to tell you,
You got to be blue blood and have an unlimited expense account.
Yeah. Well, he told me he was making so much money at the track. Why couldn't you go there?
I could have. I never ate there.
Oh, okay. I never ate it.
I do know that they used to have red and white checkered tablecloths. I know that.
I never ate at Bookbinders in Philadelphia.
I know that
either.
Lou Gordon used to eat there.
Okay.
Well, it's really a terrific place to eat.
Whatever happened to Detroit, sir?
Huh?
Whatever happened to Detroit?
It's still there.
I thought it slipped off into the lake.
It's still there, but I'm far from it. But they still can have a lot of fun down there, and there's still a lot of good things to do when we go back home.
Yeah.
Then we get around.
You don't go out on the street, do you, sir?
Oh, definitely. But
no, you actually are out on the street.
No, he goes to Hazel Park. He goes to the track.
Nope.
Northville Downs.
Nope. Can't go there.
DRC.
They took my wheels away from me. I had to be under everybody's, to drive me.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of them don't like to go to the track, and that's trouble.
Okay, sir. Good to talk to you.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you very much. Telephone number in Broward is 524-9400, and all our callers dropped off. I'm going to get Neil Rogers.
Your callers didn't drop all off.
I can't continue.
Well, now you're against Alice. Now you're in the real tough. This is tough now from 3 to 6.
What?
You got Alice on now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I mean, 2 to 3 is a snap, but when Alice comes on.
Okay. Telephone number in Dade, if anybody is listening there, 624-9400. I know that Neil blows off all of the Dade County listeners on his program before I come on the air, which is really unfair. Really, during the last half hour, you ought to say something nice about Dade County so that they'll call me.
See.
Que pasa, Rogers? All right, let's continue with a call from one of my favorite areas, Coral Springs. Wish I could afford to live there. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, Stan.
Hi, dear.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I just want you to know that because of Neil, I don't even listen to FM radio anymore.
You're kidding.
No, and I'm glad that you're going to be on my way home from work so I can listen to you, too.
Well, I've been trying to set my buttons on the FM. I've had a very difficult time setting my car buttons for FM radio stations.
Why?
Well, because I can't find, I got QBA on. I love QBA.
Oh, here we go.
Because there is only one.
Which one?
This one.
No, for FM, Zeta.
Oh, FM.
I have one of these, on your car radio, you can tune all the buttons for FM, and then you can tune them for AM.
Oh.
The AM, I had no problem. I set all of them to 94.
There's the FM, the only one I used to listen to is Magic anyway.
Magic?
Magic,
Magic 102.7, 58368.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, you and I have a lot in common.
We do?
Yeah, we lived in Kendall, and we like all the same people in Miami.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like who?
Well, I want to know what happened to Maurice Ferre.
Maurice Ferre, one of my all-time big fans.
Is he still alive?
He called me the Joseph Goebbels of Miami.
Huh?
Maurice called me the Joseph Goebbels of Miami.
I don't know what you mean.
What, do you know who Joseph Goebbels was?
No.
Joseph Goebbels was Hitler's PR man, okay? And Mayor Ferre, when he was in office during all the things that were happening in early 1980, called Stan Major the Joseph Goebbels of Miami.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is nice compared to what he said about
I was
me.
highly complimented.
I would think
how many mayors have called me names?
From anybody, right, that should have been a compliment.
Well, Sonny Rosenberg called me a few names. You'll get on his list.
But
Okay.
Anyway,
Where did you live in Kendall?
oh, my God. I lived off of Kendall Drive on 107th Avenue.
Really?
Did you know I heard a murder in Spanish when I lived out there?
You heard? Wait a minute. You heard?
How do you hear a murder in Spanish?
Is that any different than a murder in English?
Someone was getting murdered, and it was all in Spanish, the yelling and the screaming. It was horrible.
Boy.
I got out as fast.
I would like to hear that
No.
even in English, I don't think.
That's like if you heard a murder on the beach, would they say oy vey? I mean, what does that mean?
Probably.
Okay, listen, it's delightful to hear from you.
Listen, can
Send me a nude picture.
Can you guys do the Michael Jackson thing?
No, we already did that.
I have someone here that's his only day off. He wants to hear it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait a
about
minute, he
that.
never heard it?
No.
I don't want to play that.
Okay,
Neil
all right.
played it this afternoon.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Well, you're not very nice.
I don't
She
care.
sounded
I'm
like
a nice guy on the
lady.
radio.
I'm accommodating.
I have all
Whenever they
these
ask.
commercials here. Kyle's up there getting...
Do you have another break?
Yes.
Well, you better do it.
Do we have another break? Let's do it. System
Now, filled up. You're into that real heavy competition now. Alice is on.
All right, do me a favor,
And Mike
friend.
Miller's on there.
Do me a
Mike,
favor. I'm
Mike
going to
is
give you the
starting
phone
rumors
number.
about steak and shake.
Regardless of whether you can talk, if you can dial a phone, dial 624-9400 to make Neil happy if you're in Dade. If you're in Broward, 524-9400. We'll just fill up all the phone lines with imbeciles who cannot speak.
Well,
but the
how would
phone lines
How would
will
that
be
be
full.
any different from what
All
we've
right?
been listening to? So you've had a couple of good calls. Some of them have been okay.
One or two good calls. No former girlfriends. And Don Johnson has not called as yet.
Where are all those young ladies?
If
out
anybody
there?
knows where they're
Miami
filming
Vice.
Miami Vice as a service, I'll be delighted to put it out on the air if you will simply give us a call and tell us where they are filming Miami Vice at this time. They're bound to be screwing up traffic someplace. Okay? That's a public service that I'm going to do on this program.
Maybe they're out there by the Thunderbird Drive-In on Sunrise Boulevard.
They're probably back in the mall.
In unincorporated Broward.
What do you got against the Broward police, by the way?
The pigs? Nothing.
They never going to get me in trouble. I like police officers.
Oh, yeah, you would.
I like police officers. They got a rough road to hoe.
Yeah, that's why you have that fuzzbuster in your car.
Absolutely.
Get away from the pigs.
Absolutely.
The FHP, the Florida Highway Pigs. Well, Mike Wolf wants the news.
Yeah, he's we're stalling here until he's ready, and he's ready. We'll be
ready.
The Stan Major Show continues on WING. If you'd like to participate on today's program, you can call Stan on 624-9400 in Dade or 524-9400 in Broward. And now, here again, Stan Major.
I certainly hope so. It is not Neil Rogers, although Neil is here and will be with us until 6 o'clock.
Sure.
Because he is such a ham.
Mm-hmm.
Not pig.
You keep begging.
Ham.
Begging.
I need all the help I can get my first day.
By the way, you notice, and I don't want to get carried away. No, just a minute. You don't even know what I'm going to say.
Go
You
ahead.
don't even know what I'm going to say.
Telephone. He's going to go on about
Well, it's got something to do with that, but it's not what you think.
Okay.
With your obsession with Miami Vice,
Yeah.
now where would you think, logically, if people were going to be excited about Miami Vice, since it's about, drug deals and the Miami cops and all this, it would be in Dade County, right?
No.
Where would it be? In Monroe County?
Philadelphia, Chicago, wherever.
No, I'm talking about here.
No, it's passé down here. It's like Dallas.
Well, I told you that.
Nobody in Dallas
But
pays
this is
attention to
proof of
Dallas.
it. You have had nobody talk to you about Miami Vice because they don't care, and I keep telling you that.
I just want
They don't care.
to get it out of my gut.
They don't care. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all these kids are home from school now, get all goosey about Miami Vice. The people here are just not into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're making it a bigger thing than I'm making it.
No, not at all.
And you've never
when you
even
came
watched
down
the show.
here last week or whatever it was, you were just obsessed. You were calling people out of the phone directory. You
That's
were
right.
so desperate. Just picking
Trying to
names
find
at
out where they
random.
were filming.
Calling people named Johnson to see if they knew where Don was and where they were filming the show.
Wouldn't that be funny? I wonder how many Don Johnsons are listed in the directory.